Hello to my 4 subscribers. Today I'm going to be doing an Apex Legends tier list. Let's get started. So, first legend we got, Octane. Honestly, I think Octane is on the brink of being A to S tier. Yes, he got nerfed in the Genesis update, but still, it's not too much of a jump pad. It's better than a Pathfinder's grapple, and it's probably the best. Actually, I take it back. It is the best movement ability in the entire game. His jump pad gives everybody in the team good utility, and obviously with Rev, it can be very deadly. Also, his tactical is really solid, being able to get a 30% speed boost for like 10 seconds. It does chunk at his health, but because of his passive, Swift Mend, it negates that. So in total, I think Octane is A tier. Moving on. Okay, we got Pathfinder next. Pathfinder, to be honest with you, I think he's just a worse Octane. He's either going to be B or A tier. His grapple, yes, it does not take your health away like Octane's, but its cooldown can be up to 35 seconds, which is ridiculously long in this game. His ultimate's good. Yes, he gets the recon passive, so he can scan all the beacons. That's also really good. But his passive just isn't all there. I mean, yes, you get your ult every time you scan a beacon, but he needs a new passive. Like, I think a good idea. He is a Marvin, which means he was made to transport people. So I think a new passive idea that would be really good is for Pathfinder to be able to zipline maybe 20 or 30% faster on all ziplines, not just his own. But in total, I think he is a B tier legend, no questions asked. And Pathfinder is also a very solid legend. Okay, moving on, Watson. Okay, I think Watson's in C tier. Her pylon is her only saving grace, but obviously in Genesis she got the best update ever. She could put more Nessies down on the map at once. Obviously makes her S tier. But in all seriousness, her pylon is still super good, but it's nothing compared to what it was a few seasons back when you did not break over time and it could, well, just be up there forever. It was kind of broken. Her fences, to be honest with you, are very underwhelming. Like, very underwhelming. It does 10 damage, sure, and it stuns them, lets you know where they're at, but they're so easy to destroy. It's not even point. Like, it's not even, like, a thing to put them down. It's not good. Okay, so yeah, Watson's in C tier. Yeah, C tier. Okay, moving on to Rampart. Rampart is super good in very certain situations. Like, if you're holding a house in main town, she is able to fortify a room and do big damage with any gun, and her 1v3 potential is very high. The only problem with Rampart, she has to be very stationary to use her abilities. Sheila, while fun, takes a while to rev of, and they can see it from a mile away. Also, you're a sitting duck when you use it. It's super easy to dodge Sheila, but as a zoning tool, it is incredible. It can get people off high ground and things like that. In that situation, she is very, very strong, but that's about the only situation she's strong in. Her passive, while nice with the Devotion Spitfire, they're already broken enough. With her, they're just ever so slightly better. You truly don't need a Rampart, like, ever. So, I think that's why I'm going to put her in D tier. Wraith. I'm going to try not to be biased here. I am a Wraith main, but frankly, I think she's not S tier since her hitbox nerf, but I do not believe she is S tier like she used to be. Her get out jail free card is obviously still amazing, while not like instant like it used to be. Still solid because you get a 30% speed boost. Her passive is niche. It can sometimes be helpful when you're looting and things like that. But her ultimate, while being nerfed several of times, she her ultimate is still super good for repositioning within like a 75 meter radius. Yeah, I got nothing else really to say on Wraith, but she is super solid and pretty balanced right now. Okay, next, we got Fuse. Good old Fusey is nice. His knuckle clusters are really good sometimes, but his ultimate is like... Actually, I'm taking it back. It is the worst ultimate in the entire game. His knuckle clusters are good, but they're not great, and his ultimate is utterly useless. His passive is probably like his best part of his kit. It's solid, but sometimes you don't need it. Actually, yeah, Fuse is not that good. Although he's a blast to play, he is not very good in this game. Okay, next, Rev, A tier. Rev is like the brink of S tier. Octane and Rev is so deadly together, it's incredible. You can totem pad, which makes for an extremely, extremely deadly combo. His new passive buff in the Genesis update was that he is able to climb almost infinitely now. It's incredible. I mean, his crouch walk speed is still there. Not very known, but it's there. His climb, though, is super good. He could climb, like, a whole building in main town. Obviously, his ultimate, I would say probably one of the best ultimates in the entire game, besides, like, Crypto's and Valkyrie's. Definitely one of the best ults in the entire game, no questions asked. Now his tactical, also super solid. Pretty much just shut down any character that like relies on their abilities. It's super solid, does damage obviously. So like Octane, it stops him from stimming, it can stop him from running away, stop him from jump padding his team away. It can be super good in some situations. Truly, I got nothing else to say on Rev. He is super solid, and if you've never tried him, give him a shot. He is worth it to learn. Alright, moving on. Once again, we got Valkyrie, the newest legend. Okay, Valkyrie is super balanced. She's definitely one of the more balanced people in the game currently. Her passive, the VTOL jets, are solid, but they are very good in short bursts, and frankly, it's just better than climbing. Her tactical, her missile swarm, super good to get people off of like some cover, and if they do decide to take it, they're stunned, which can like screw them over in a fight very, very, very badly. Her ultimate is definitely the best ult for making a safe rotation in high tier competitive. She is honestly just a solid character overall. Yeah, I got nothing else to say, but she is super, super solid. Okay, moving on. Crypto. I think he's A tier. I mean, there's one glaring problem with Crypto, is that he has to be pretty much just a non-existent player to get value on his team. While in his drone, though, he can get very clutch. He could scan the next ring, for one. He is a recon, so he can scan a recon beacon. His drone is also pretty useful. While now having 60 health instead of 1, it takes people more shots to kill it. And then his passive is honestly not great. It pretty much just scans them, which I don't think it should be a passive, but it's respawn. I really don't know what to do about that. But here's Crypto's bread and butter, and here's why I think he's A tier, his EMP. These three legends right here, Octane, Revenant, Crypto, is deadly. You have the Crypto go in, you have them EMP, you have the Rev Totem, then you have the Octane jump pad, and you win the fight, period. If you lost a fight like that, I frankly think you should uninstall the game and never play it ever again. Okay, moving on. Okay, we got Caustic. Season 8, he got nerfed to the ground. He is borderline kind of useless, I'm be honest. I got a friend who mains Caustic, and he can make him work very good by using the gas as a slowing tool. Not more of a damage tool, but more of a slowing tool, using them kind of offensively and defensively to be able to heal and pop shields in the safety of the gas. His ultimate is very good indoors and to sometimes get teams off of you. And his normal tactical, his gas traps, are obviously pretty solid, but being that his gas only does 5 damage consistently now, it doesn't make too much sense to use him more than he used to. That's all he really is. Before his nerfs, he would be up here in S tier, but after his nerfs, he is way down here in C tier with Watson. I mean, he's better than Watson, but definitely not the greatest legend. Okay, and we got Gibby next. Yeah, he's S tier. No questions asked. He is too good at everything he does. 1. His passive. The gun shield, sure, it got nerfed, and now if someone shoots you with a Kraber, you're gonna feel most of that Kraber damage, but still, his arm shield basically gives him 50 more health on top of fortified. So he, 1, takes way less damage. He takes longer time to kill due to his arm shield. 3. Okay, now we got his tactical dome protection, aka the bubble. Okay, so this is where Gibraltar becomes the best character in the game. No questions asked. His dome. 1, there's so much open area in Olympus, Kings Canyon, and World's Edge that you kind of need a Gibby just for that little bit of extra protection. 2nd, he can heal faster in the dome. I generally don't know what Respawn was thinking when they did that to him, but he is so good because of just those 2 reasons. But on top of all of that, he can revive 1 second faster than all the other legends. So he revives in 4 seconds instead of 5 seconds in the bubble. Now next, we're actually not even done yet with Gibby. Next, we got his ultimate, an airstrike, which basically makes it where he throws down a flare, calling in a bunch of mortars and stuff, doing 40 damage to people in his vicinity and people it hits. It also stuns and shell shocks everyone around you, including your teammates. But to you, it does damage. So be careful of that. But truly, I think Gibby is the S tier of S tier. If there was a tier above S, Gibby would be in it. No questions asked. He is the best character in the game. Okay, moving on. Horizon. Frankly, I do not like this character, at all. I think she's annoying and, super just not that fun to play. Her gravity list, while good on World's Edge, on Kings Canyon and Olympus, it's not too good. Actually, on Olympus, it's pretty solid, but World's Edge is where it truly shines. But ever since it got nerfed kind of to the ground, she has kind of lost, most of her power, I guess you could say. Before nerf, she would be up here in S tier. No questions asked. But due to her nerfs, I think she's B tier. Her 1 saving grace is her ultimate. Her ultimate is solid. It can be comboed with Caustic and Fuse even to make so it pretty much sucks them in and then the gas can kill them. And then if you really want to go the extra mile, you can put a Ring of Fire on them, and then Fuse can also shoot his Knuckle Clusters in there and do damage to all of them. But at that point, it's overkill. But Horizon, she's in honestly a pretty good place right now. Maybe if she got a little bit buffed, maybe she'll be better. Maybe she'll be back up in A tier, but from her spot right now, I think she's pretty solid. Okay, moving on. Lifeline. Okay, so in Season 5, when she got her Res Shield, she was A+ tier. That Res Shield was super good. But now in Season 9, she got a redistribution of power, pretty much making it where Now her res shield is gone, but she can revive 2 people at once. One with her, both with her drone. And her Doc drone got way better. Her passive, she has a super solid passive with obviously the Doc rezzing. In arenas, she's S tier. In Battle Royale, she is meh. Her ultimate care package, we have outgrown it, and I think she straight up needs a new ultimate. But other than that, she's pretty good. I mean, her Doc healing drone is good when you guys are running low on syringes and med kits and things like that. That's pretty good to top the team off, or like if you get out of the storm to top all 3 of you guys off, or all 2 of you guys off. Other than that, Lifeline, she's decently solid. I think she needs a little bit of a buff, but in this time she is pretty decent. Up next, Loba. For thickness, she's S tier, obviously, but let's be honest here, Loba, she is good, but not great. Her bracelet finally is much better, like way better than it used to be way back. She can actually run while using it, compared to just having to walk while using it. That is a huge buff to her. And then her black market, being able to take infinite amount of ammo. That can sometimes be super good when you're running low on ammo late game, and there's a bunch of boxes nearby. You can just pop it, get like all the light ammo or heavy ammo that you need. In that situation, she is very solid. Her passive is alright, I guess. I mean, on drop, sure, it can be useful to go for like the purple armor and like the golden weapon or something that's on the ground. But her team utility is not that much. She doesn't have team mobility. Yeah, she's just not too good. She's not in the greatest spot. I mean, she's in the best spot she's been, but she's not in the best spot in the world. Yeah, I think Loba's in a pretty solid place, but I do think she needs to be a little bit buffed. Okay, moving on. Bamboozler, aka Mirage. Okay, so Mirage is a character. He's pretty funny, but sometimes can be annoying. Yeah, I think Mirage is C tier. His normal tactical, his decoy, aka you got bamboozled. It's alright if you're a good Mirage and you truly know what you're doing. It can actually bamboozle people, but it only gives them like a rough estimation on where you're at, and that is honestly not that good. So, I mean, his passive, being able to respawn invisible, is good, but I think what his definitely best ability is his reviving invisible. That can be super solid when if you're in a gunfight and no one knows where you're at. That can be really good. His ultimate pretty much sends out about like 8 of clones of himself, and he turns invisible for about a second. It gives him time to run away, maybe screw with the opponents a little bit. It's good offensively and defensively. And truly, that's about it for Mirage. He's not too good, but he's not too bad. Okay, next character, Bangalore. Bangalore is, I think, at the bottom of A tier. She is pretty good. She is honestly really solid in like the way that she does bring. I mean, her passive is really good. The only problem with her is obviously her passive is the best part about her, in my opinion, because you get 30% speed boost for 2 seconds anytime you get shot at. That can be super good and can turn a team fight, and it can make your strafe speed incredibly fast when doing a 1v1 with, let's say, an Eva or a Mastiff, and it can win you the fight just by that extra little kick of speed. Her tactical, which is her smokes, can be good defensively, and that's what the best for. Like, let's say your Caustic is rezzing, You throw your smoke on him, he gets an even safer res than he already does inside his gas. Her smoke is good. Defensively, problem is obviously digi-threats exist, and that's when her smokes can be used offensively to smoke them out, and to use the digi-threat to laser them. That's when Bangalore can be super solid. Now her ultimate. Her ultimate is Creeping Barrage, which pretty much she throws out an airstrike, kind of like Gibraltar's, except her airstrike is a lot worse. It does cover more ground, sure, but they land and they take about 6 seconds to explode, doing 40 damage to all the characters in the vicinity and stunning them. She is honestly, I think, the most balanced character in the game. Valkyrie and Bangalore are the two most balanced characters in the game, without a doubt. She's solid at kind of everything. She can play defensively, she can play offensively. Same thing with Valkyrie, she can play kind of defensively and kind of offensively. Now, the last character we got on our tier list, Bloodhound. Bloodhound is S tier. His scans are incredible as a team. He can play just about any playstyle. He can play campy with Caustic and Watson. He can play offensively with the Wraith, Octane, Rev. He can play like any way you want him to. He can scan his information. That's something. His scans, once he scans you, it lasts for 4 seconds, and they pretty much have wall hacks for a few seconds. He obviously is a recon hero. He can scan recon beacons, which is a huge plus. So he can tell you where the next ring is. Next, his ultimate is super good. It pretty much gives him scans every 6 seconds instead of 25, which is kind of broken, in my opinion. I do believe he needs nerfs. Same thing with Gibraltar. They both need nerfs, in my opinion. But in general, he is just so good at what he does. His passive, he can track people from 80 seconds away. So, let's say you started in main town and you wanted to chase somebody to train yard, and you saw their footsteps, you can start tracking them all the way until you find them and fight, and then hopefully come out on top. But yeah, he can play super aggressively with a competition or a comp like Octane and Revenant. He can play defensively with like a Gibby and Caustic. Surely Bloodhound has it all. He can do everything pretty good. And his mobility, he also has a lot of mobility with his ultimate, being able to run 30% faster in his ultimate. That lasts for 30 seconds. Also, every time you get a knock in his ultimate, it gets plus 10 seconds. So, I believe that Octane is Bloodhound's S tier, not Octane. Sorry. That's my tier list, I guess. Let's just do a quick recap. Fuse and Fuse tier. He is a blast to play. Do not get me wrong. He is very fun to play. His knuckle clusters are not the greatest. His ultimate is the worst. And his passive is meh. So, he deserves to be down there. Rampart. Solid when set up, but when she's not set up, she is not too great. Caustic, when he's set up, he's alright. His gas doesn't do much damage. His passive is utterly useless, honestly. Watson, honestly, just generally not that good. Her pylon is the only thing that's making her semi-high tier. Mirage, his bamboozles are not that great, to be honest with you. Yeah, nothing else to say. Valkyrie, everything about her is just good. Her passive makes sense for her. She can use quick bursts to get up to the high ground. Her ultimate safe rotations, just in general, a great character. Pathfinder, good mobility, not as good as Octane's, but not as bad as someone like Caustic or Watson. Just, once again, a really good and solid character right now. Although I do believe his passive needs to be reworked, he is in a pretty good spot. Horizon, honestly pretty good right now. Maybe they can give her a little buff to her gravity lift, maybe make its cooldown reduced by a second or two. But other than that, I think Horizon's pretty good, in a good spot right now. Loba needs buffs, honestly. She is good, but once again, her bracelet is kind of lackluster. Although you can move while using it, it still takes about an hour for it to actually land, and then the animation when it lands also takes quite a while. Other than that, she's not too bad. Lifeline. She lost some of her power with playing in and out of the res shield, but she's in a pretty good spot. But I do believe she does need to be buffed a little bit. Okay, up next, A tier. Let's start off with Bangalore. Just solid all around. She has good mobility. She has good defensive utility. She has good offensive utility. Just super balanced. She's pretty much the jack of all trades in this game. Crypto. He does have to technically be AFK to get value on his team, but scanning and respawning instantly while in drone can be kind of a game changer. And obviously his EMP is incredible, arguably one of the best ults in the entire game. Although Crypto, I do believe he has a pretty solid spot right now. Yeah, that's it for Crypto. Okay, moving on. Wraith, my main. Once again, try not to be biased here, but her get out of jail free card with her tactical is super solid. But obviously it does take like a second to do the whole animation to get out. Sure, you get 30% speed boost, but I don't think it's enough. But other than that, Wraith is in a super good spot. Portal, obviously good for repositioning. Her passive is there if you're looting. It's good. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say for Wraith. Okay, moving on. Revenant. His climb is absolutely incredible now after his buff. His death totem, yes, it got a little nerfed, but still, it is broken, his totem. It truly is kind of broken. His tactical silence, being able to silence own abilities for 20 seconds can be, like, the difference in a game. Like, it can stop a lifeline from rezzing, or a fuse from doing his knuckle clusters, or like a Wraith using her tactical to get away. Things like that. It can be super solid and is really good. Okay, now top of A tier, arguably S tier, but we got Octane. Octane, his jump pad is just too good at repositioning your team. It's just good overall. Like, there's never, you like never don't want to have a jump pad. It's just good. Plus, Octane is definitely like the funnest character in the game to play, besides like maybe Pathfinder. But yeah, his sim gives him speed. There's nothing else to really say about it. And his passive is like complements his stim very good. So yeah, Octane's in a pretty good spot right now. Truly, I don't think Reese wants to nerf him at all. He is in truly, I think, a perfect spot right now. Okay, moving on once again. S tier, we got Bloodhound. Scanning, obviously, makes him super good, giving his teammates much information. Recon passive, he can scan survey beacons, see where the next ring is at. His ultimate, super good. You get scans every 6 seconds, giving you wall hacks. Also, when you're on your ultimate, you get faster. Yeah, nothing really else to say about him. He can track people too. Yeah, Bloodhound's just good. Like, there's nothing wrong with Bloodhound. Okay, now next we got Gibraltar. I don't even know where to start. He is broken. One is arm shield. Pretty much takes 50 more damage to kill him. So if he had red Evo on, that's 225 health. Now I deal with 275 health, which can be very annoying. It can definitely throw a whole team fight just based on that. Now, next we got his dome. He can revive faster, and he can also heal faster, while also giving him much protection. Frankly, I do think he needs nerf, but maybe make it, I think, where certain abilities should be able to go through his dome, or like crack his dome, such as Sheila should be able to break it. with Rampart that would kind of buff Rampart for making her D tier. A little bit more up to maybe C or B tier even. Yeah, things like that. And maybe if Rev silences him when he's out of the dome goes away. Something like that, because he does need a nerf. He is definitely the best character in the game right now. No questions asked. What else? His ultimate super solid. It's an airstrike that lands instantly and blows up in a certain radius, doing good damage and concussing everyone around him. So thank you people for watching my Apex Legends tier list. I might be making more videos. I am truly not sure in my free time. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you. Bye.